A clear message to our Republican colleagues on the House side. Your agenda on women's health is extreme. It breaks faith with a decades-long bipartisan compromise. And according to medical experts, your agenda risks the health and the lives of women.
Welcome back to Hardball. That's Senator Barbara Boxer yesterday making clear that House Republicans planning bills to restrict a woman's right to choose an abortion will face fierce opposition on the Senate side. Congresswoman Diana DeGette of Colorado leads the Pro-Choice Caucus. Thank you so much. Just to clarify this issue as much as I've been able to, there is a long-standing sort of bright line, and you may not like it. A lot of pro-life people don't like it. Pro-choice people don't like it. But it's basically a woman has a right to choose within some restraints under the Roe v. Wade decision of the Supreme Court in 1973. And also because the Hyde Amendment, which is getting passed generally every year, the government's not going to pay for abortion. So that's sort of like the way it works. You have a right to choose, but the government's not involved in it in terms of financing it. Why is this border that had been sort of respected changing now? What's going on?
Well, so Chris, just at the time when Americans care about jobs and the economy, the Republican leadership in the House has made one of their first 3 bills to be a bill that says to women, you now can't buy abortion coverage. You can't buy full reproductive coverage in these health exchanges or even in the private insurance market. This is an extreme and divisive bill that goes so far beyond what we've ever seen before. It would basically say people can't get tax credits if they offer health care policies that give full reproductive services. So it would reduce people's rights to health care, and it would actually raise taxes. Why they're doing this, I think it shows their true colors, which is they're trying to cater to the far right.
What would happen if this were to be law? I don't know if it passed the Constitution in terms of the Supreme Court, but if you were able to say you can't buy health insurance that includes coverage for abortion, even if it's your own money or whatever, because we don't want you to, therefore we're going to outlaw it. But would that mean the insurance companies would just stop providing that kind of coverage? What would be the effect, you think?
Here's what would happen, Chris, is right now employers and some employees get tax deductions or tax credits for offering insurance to their employees. These insurance policies give a full range of reproductive care for women. So under the bill, even these companies and then the new companies coming in, if they wanted to offer free reproductive care, they couldn't get a tax credit. What that would mean would be that insurance companies would just simply stop offering insurance policies that covered abortion and other kinds of reproductive care.
I think every woman out there knows exactly what we're talking about. Let's talk about this thing. 358, the other bill that's about if you a woman's in a car accident. She's pregnant. She's, say, 8 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant. The doctors decide that her life's endangered if they continue with the pregnancy. These cases, fortunately, in our life don't happen that often, but when they do, the hospitals are, under current law, I'm told, required, whether they're Catholic or whatever, they have to perform the surgeries. Now, what would this new legislation do?
Well, both of these bills are absolutely riddled with little landmines like this. They redefine rape to be forcible rape. They redefine incest. And the one you're talking about says that if a woman comes into a hospital, a pregnant woman, and she would die if she didn't have an abortion, if the hospital or the doctor's against it for reasons of conscience, then they wouldn't have to save the mother's life. I mean, that's just appalling to people, and it's of quite concern.
Is this, look, I'm with you on this issue because I think a woman in that kind of situation should be protected. Her rights to live should be protected. But don't most hospitals, aren't all hospitals required to give that kind of emergency treatment right now, no matter what the hospital's religion?
I believe in a conscience clause. I think it's important. But under current law, if a woman comes in and she's going to die if she doesn't have the medical service, then they have to provide that medical service. This new legislation would eliminate that law. So it would now say...
Why would somebody want to do that?
Because they don't value the life of the mother. That's why. I mean, it's,
so let's get back to reality here. I know that the Republicans, Chris Smith, I respect the guy, I disagree with him on the way in which he goes about these things. I do, as a Roman Catholic, respect life. I accept that as the teaching authority of my church. When it comes to the Constitution, I think we can read the Constitution as it's been interpreted by the Supreme Court. It is, in fact, the law of the land. We live in a society that's run by law. You can change it if you want, but you got to do it a different way than this. It seems to me what they're trying to do, Congresswoman, is get around the rights issue by making it just so darn difficult, and finding these sort of marginal ways to deny the opportunity which should come with the right under the Constitution.
Right. We had hearings both in the Judiciary and in the Health Subcommittees today and yesterday, and basically some of the witnesses for the proponents of the bill said their goal is to eliminate abortions in this country completely, except for, in most circumstances, I guess, the life of the mother. And that's their real goal. So if they figure if they can't do it through the courts, then what they'll do is they'll make it virtually impossible for anybody to get full reproductive services. As I said, it's really extreme. And by the way, Chris, next week they're planning to have a vote to eliminate the family planning money that goes to many organizations. So no birth control either.
I think the Senate's going to fight this. Anyway, thank you, U.S. Congresswoman Diana DeGette, Democrat of Colorado. I'm glad to hear your colleagues doing so much better out there.
Thanks.
When we return, let me finish with the global impact of Bill Clinton. What a story. I call him president of the world because he is. It's the subject of the new Hardball documentary coming out the week after next. I want to talk to you about it. You're watching Hardball, only on MSNBC.